The major parts were reserved for James and his friends, but it was her only line in the movie that would make Kaitlin a pop culture icon.
And they tied up my little girl t-shirts. There was a #1 single from Cisco. It was pandemonium.
It was the hottest phrase since Mr. T's cut that jibba jabba.
It catapulted her up into that celebrity stratosphere. The critical consensus was that James Jerguson was an inexperienced leading man working with a loose and clumsy script. Nevertheless, Kaitlin's family loved it, except her grandfather who fell asleep immediately. Encouraged by the success, Fames Jerguson began working on film 2 in August. But this time, things were different.
With film 2, there was definitely a different dynamic between Fames and Kaitlin's relationship. Because Kaitlin, now being the more established celebrity, disgruntled with her role in the previous film, began throwing her weight around a little bit, and taking on more of a producing role by her own volition. But in doing so, she stepped on a few toes.
Her behavior was unprofessional. She was demanding, argumentative, insubordinate. Her drinking became an issue. She was constantly butting heads with the writing staff, not to mention the other actors.
It was like Divas Live. And we're like, dude, this is a homemade video. No one's going to see this.
Film 2 premiered on August 19th, 1999. It bombed. Real bad.
You had all the makings of a great film. Humor, action, romance, an all-star cast featuring some of the biggest names of the day. But there was a lack of cohesiveness and misguided direction that was a byproduct of the power struggle on set.
Violated by the experience, Fames Jerguson became disillusioned with the filmmaking process and wouldn't make another video for almost 9 years. Kaitlin was still at the height of her popularity. She reveled in the public spotlight, but was desperate to distance herself from her on-screen good girl image. Therefore, Kaitlin dropped out of the 7th grade and sought projects with controversial subject matter and that were in questionable taste.
Hey Creed, what you doing?
Just chillin'.
Kaveen, you've been just chilling for the last 6 months. When are you gonna go out and get a job?
Just chillin' was essentially Kaitlin giving society the finger. It was like, throw all the rules out the window, all preconceptions of social normality and discretion, and let's do a blackface video.
We were all like, what's wrong with her? Is she mentally stable?
Film Midterm, featuring the infamous Just Chillin' with Kareem segment, was confiscated and is evidence in an ongoing investigation. And racist propaganda racketeer Ben Tapro has since been ostracized from the community. Kaitlin, not unscathed by the scandal herself, had trouble finding work following Film Midterm. Producers saw her as a high-risk investment and a loose cannon. The bad girl diva herself was battling alcoholism and psychological disorder. And by the time she was cast in her brother's calculus video, Kaitlin was spiraling out of control.
Her behavior was extremely bizarre, unpredictable. She demanded to do all of her lines with a paper bag over her head. It was weird. We were all very concerned.
It was the last time Kaitlin would work for 5 years. By the time production wrapped on Calculus Video, Kaitlin was a full-blown raging alcoholic whose life was in turmoil.
We never knew where she wasn't answering our calls.
She lost her grip on reality.
Most indicative of her mental state was the type of people she was associating with. Drunks, losers, junkies, scum, gangs, perverts, exhibitionists, real bottom of the barrel types.
Meanwhile, 5 years later, Fames Jerguson had re-emerged as a filmmaker, gaining popularity with his How to Land Chicks webcast and ribbon dancing exhibitions. Fames was casting for his upcoming feature, Dance Wars, about 2 rival transposed-gendered 50s street gangs disputing over territory in a modern world. Kaitlin had just finished her 11th stay in rehab and was looking for a comeback. She approached her old friend Fames Jerguson for a part.
I was reluctant to hire Kaitlin back, but I did predicate it on the belief that me being the one with more clout this time, that we wouldn't have that same power struggle on set, and she would be more amenable. Big mistake.